Welcome back to Marketing Monday Mixer. What's our drink today, Juliet?
Our
Because I'm
drink.
not drinking, which is,
Oh, I feel so bad for you. I'm not drinking either, but this looks really good. So it's sake sangria. That sounds like a
ooh,
double. It's vodka and sake together.
wow. That sounds like a serious double whammy. I had a massive headache today. Like I just couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, there's no way. If I drink right now, I'll be like on the floor.
Right?
So it's just not in the cards for me tonight. And I'm trying to get off sugar. I mean, not that I'm on a lot of sugar, not like you, Juliet. Juliet, for everyone out there, Juliet can sock away so much sugar, it kills me. Like it would do me in. But you are like hot chocolate queen in the winter.
I am.
And
Oh,
I,
and
yeah.
I found a new one. It's peppermint patty hot chocolate.
Oh,
Like,
no,
oh,
that's not for me though. So anyway, but I'm doing this drink thing that so many people are out there and you're not, and every time I even have like the slightest amount of carbohydrates, like it upsets my stomach. So I'm like going totally no carbs right now. So that means no juice. So no sangria.
wow. So, yeah, the sake, but
But
you know what? It's like hair of the dog. You should have started like first
maybe I
thing in the
should
morning.
maybe I should have gone the other way. Yeah. Who knows? But you know what, though, it's the idea though of having something so massively socking it to you sounds kind of like a lot of fun right now.
It does. So I'm over here looking. Okay, it hasn't gone live over here for me to do a watch party. That's what I
uh,
was over here. Start a watch
oh,
party. Here we go.
okay.
Okay, now I'm doing it. So, we're going to talk about CTAs tonight.
Yeah, finally, calls to action. Like we keep saying that we want to beef up your copy. We want to get your visuals there. We're doing all of those things as we talk about what's working and what's not working in marketing. But the most important thing is actually having a call to action, right? And making one.
Yes, I'm trying to mute over here. So, yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
But and we're going to actually do a call to action at the end, but I really wanted to talk about today like the different kinds of calls to action too, because there are commitments and then there are micro commitment calls to action.
That's right. That's
So,
right. And and here's the thing is that there are how do I put it? The type of call to action you do needs to also be matched to all the things we've been talking about, whether it's the tone of your copy, whether it's the visual impact you're trying to have, the temperature of the audience we've talked about before, right? All of those things have to also match your call to action. And that's where I think like people go really wrong, right? They
mhm.
think I'm just going to give them this power call to action and everyone's just going to go and jump on it.
Yes,
And it
yes,
doesn't work out. It doesn't work out like that. So often doesn't work out like that, right?
yes. So I have to give a shout out here. My daughter's watching. Hi, Allie. I don't know why. She must be really bored.
Oh no, that's what watch parties are for. So all of our friends can check our friends and family. Because every time I get on, I'm like, oh, there's my father-in-law. Does he even know what I'm talking about?
Did he even know that Facebook existed? I'm shocked.
No, he does. He's been on a long time. But the fact that I do these, right? And so anyway, it's always fun to have that watch party go on. So anyway, so what did you want? I mean, you write a lot more calls to action than I do. What are some of the things that you see go really wrong, Juliet?
So, getting into the call to action without actually doing any sort of prep for it. So, here's
Like,
my line, buy my stuff, but there's no prep. There's no real good copy telling them why they should buy your stuff. Like, what's in it for them? We all know there's money in it for you most of the time. But there's a lot of that. And a lot of, the call to action to get somebody to click requires trust. And so you want the right people trusting you. And that's where I talk a lot about commitments and micro commitments. So let me just explain about the two. A commitment is when you put something out there. Let's say it's an ebook or, something where you're going to end up if you click on somebody's list or in an offer. If somebody doesn't know you, like you, and trust you, that's a big step because now they know they're going to get spammed to death by most people. So I always recommend that you use a big commitment and then a micro commitment, something really non-threatening, like a Facebook group. So you can actually have your call to action and then put something underneath it that's like, not quite ready to grab our ebook? Come join the Facebook group and find out more about what we do. So that kind of gives people, those new people, kind of a place to go where they can be a lurker on Facebook and kind of
A
find out
lurker.
a lurk. I know.
I love that. That's so awesome, actually.
I had someone come up to me recently and he's like, "Oh my God, I love your stuff on Facebook." And I'm like, "Why don't you ever like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just kind of sit there and lurk." So ever since I said that, now he makes comments, he likes, he shares.
You
But
guilted him into it.
I know, I shamed him. Shame, shame. The next step was like Game of Thrones, where we, throw things at him as he walks through the town square, yelling shame. So, yeah. So, what about you? What do you think? What really good CTAs?
So, what I find is that most often the CTAs that I see, the calls to action are a complete mismatch, right? So your audience is, a low end, they're starters, they're beginners, they're dipping their toe in, and we make them high end offers.
Yeah.
So like there's this really big mismatch between how you do it. So I agree with you totally. Like you have to have your offers build up trust over time, but we go with these mismatch to our audience. So I've told you, we were just talking about this earlier, that in our boot camps we make a reversal of offers. We do it in reverse. So normally you would lead up to the high end ticket, and we actually do it in reverse, but we do it for a very abrupt and how do I put it, it's kind of a reverse psychology reason for it, right?
Mhm.
And so we do it on purpose in that particular place, but we've already built up a ton of trust before they ever get to our boot camp to begin with. Like they wouldn't be there if we hadn't been giving them value over time. So we're on probably our 10th or 12th touch point by the time they're enrolling in our boot camp. So we're allowed to, at that point, do a reversal. So what I explained to Juliet earlier today, so I'll just explain it to everyone, is in our boot camp, we do our morning and we set through, and it's a 7-hour boot camp on how to start a podcast. And so we set the whole morning with the tone of what a strategy is, how to name your show, thinking through all the do's and don'ts, the things that most people do wrong. And for some people who've come in there with a mindset of, I have my show idea already, there's a lot of this like, oh no, I've done it wrong already. Like they've already gone wrong. And so now they're really worried. And so what we do is we hit them right at the end of the morning with, if you just want one-on-one, if you want strategy, if you don't want to watch the rest of the 7 hours, right, and you just want to get this done quickly with the most one-on-one help possible, then let's have a conversation. And we have our call, we have our for podetize.com/inquiry, right? Like, and it's just this booking calendar. It's not actually even telling them how much it is, but it is essentially our high-end sales opportunity, because you're going to get a one-on-one evaluation and you're going to have a sale. You're essentially agreeing to a sales call.
Mhm.
Right. And so in that, Tom has a really high track record of selling people because they've already had the groundwork set here. They've been thinking about podcasting for a while. That's why they're taking the boot camp. They've seen us add value over time. And now we sort of jolted them out about how much work this is. And it's not what they expected, but they still are excited about doing a show. So let's get it done quickly. So I'm saying to them, I'm making an offer that says, I'm making you an offer to just skip all this how-to stuff that you don't really want to do, because you have, you value your time more than you value money. And that's really basically the offer. So normally people would go through the entire day and then make the offer. But my clients are quick. They want quick results. They want to move fast. And I know that because I know my right fit clients really well.
Mhm.
And they don't have the patience to sit through a how-to if they're never going to do it.
Right.
They don't want to learn just to learn. They want to get moving.
Yeah.
So I've given them an out. I gave them what they needed to be valuable so that they could make an informed decision about how their show should go and the strategy things. So I've jump-started what I normally would do in my first paid call with them. And so we're going to move faster through that whole process when we do it, but I'm giving them an out right there.
Mhm.
Then later in the day, we make the second offer, which is, now that we've taught you all the things you need and you've made decisions about what you want it to sound like, look like, do it, but you don't want to go all over the place like Fiverr and all these other places to go buy this stuff. Why don't you just use my resources, and I'm going to make you an amazing offer? And I make them $1,000 offer.
Mhm.
And then on the last day, I make them, and the last hour, I make them an offer to get a free 30 days on my Podetize platform. So they'll join us as soon as possible to take advantage of our ongoing coaching, which means I continue to have more touch points and opportunities to sell them. So, and opportunities to envelop them in our community where they all rave about us. And so that helps as well too, and moves them through the process. So I've done it in reverse. Normally people would go and make their free 30-day offer like right at the beginning, right? That's what they would do. And they would do it in reverse. But I'm not doing it as my first touch point. If I went in and said to my first touch point, go and have a call for something that's going to end up being a $7,500 offer, they're not going to do it. So
They wouldn't
they're
show
not
up.
going to have the call. They'll never take the call, even if they were right fit.
So I just want to define that real quick. When she says touch point, they've talked before, there's been an email exchange, there's been several touch points, and people are interested. So, and by the way, you just spoiled it for all of my boot camp attendees on Friday, because now they're like,
Whoops.
oh, whoops, I'm not showing up now. Watch the videos that I bought. No, but that is important. And that's one of the places where we talked about on the very first show, waste of time webinars. People are not interested in that watching an hour and a half training and that big thing anymore. Having a master class or a boot camp, something where people can get a taste of you for $197. Well, I think yours is 97, isn't it? Mine's 197.
No, mine's 497, but very often I give it away for what is $97. So like that'll be my stage offer to someone. So it is actually one of my touch points, right? So it's one of my giveaways, and lowering the cost. And sometimes I even give it away for free.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, my goal is that I want the people who are going to drop out of that boot camp.
Right.
The boot camp is there. If you want it and you want to use it, good for you, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is to capture the people who just want to crash out of it and say like, enough is enough. So I'm offering them the opportunities to crash out of it all along the way. And that's what this is what I think the mindset is. A call to action is an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sales. Like,
Yes,
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's a single action. It's not like, it's not the be all and end all. It's not like, oh my gosh, I got to cram it all in and tell them everything. No, one thing. Get them to do one thing.
So here's the thing too, with the difference between you and I and a lot of other people out there, we actually have a tangible product that we can do as a done for you. So for those coaches out there who just, your thing is coaching,
right?
That's the difference here between what we're doing. Is Tracy has a done for you where they set up the podcast. I have a done for you where you set up the assessment. So there are some places where that model may not work the way it works for us, because that downsell is actually something tangible that you're taking away from the deal versus just regular
and
coaching.
if that's the case, if you don't have a product, if you don't have that kind of service package where they're receiving something of value. So when I used to have my consulting business, I mean, it would take me a very long time to close clients. Of course, I was closing them for $120,000 a year program, right? So I mean, you'd expect to have a longer cycle of closure.
Right.
But along the way in that process, your calls to action are to get them to provide you information. You treat your calls to action as a test to see if they're going to be a right fit client for you. So one of the things that I refuse to do when I have interactions with people out in public is that I don't send them information. I don't take it when they send me when they push a card in my hand. I don't do anything with it besides friend them on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I make them ask me for information, or I will give them a card that says, go to this address and book a call. I make them take the action of booking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my choice. But I've done that through that whole consulting business, because if they weren't willing to take that action, then they weren't going to be great fit clients for me. So finding that call to action thing that makes it so that when they do that, it's an indicator that they are right fit for you. And that's where sometimes our calls to action, making these free downloads and all of these things, we get all the wrong people through it. Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's where we're not really working out well. And I want to see actions that make that a better fit for me. I want it to help qualify my audience. That's why I love the quiz as a call to action. In certain situations, that's where it's wonderful of what you do with your assessment marketing.
Yeah. So I want to point out something, and we've got to have a whole show on enrollment conversations.
I know.
What Tracy just did there is kind of like dating. You never chase the guy. Okay. So you never chase the client. It's the same thing. She's playing hard to get. No, not
Right.
really hard to get, but you're like standing back to see, is this your person? And that can be so very empowering, because it's frustrating when you are chasing clients who aren't qualified and talking to people all day, especially when you're a solopreneur and you're unclogging the toilet, and you're responsible for every single thing in your
Did
business.
that happen today? This sounds really personal.
No,
I know your power went out, but still.
it didn't happen today, but I worked at a place where for a while where I was the CFO. And I'm telling you, the CFO, the COO, we did everything. Like, we draws over because we were too darn cheap to call a darn plumber. So there you have it. But no, I get what, small businesses, like, you're wearing all the hats. So
Yeah.
when you're enrolling and selling, you need to be talking to qualified people, period. It's very empowering. If you've ever been a salesperson, like a telemarketing person, and you're calling and people are hanging up, and you don't want that. It's really hard. You
Right.
want those people coming to you and saying, could we chat about this?
Right, absolutely. And the other part about it that I don't love, and I studied the sales process, right? So I studied the sales process of like getting everybody to, dance to the back of the room, run to the back of the room, however you want to like call that. But what I found in that process is that uh you get a lot of frogs
Yes, you do.
still in that process, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of people who buy too many programs, they don't take action. And so I would rather have a smaller set of people but have them be the right people. So I never create a call to action from the stage, or anything that isn't a forcing them to take an action besides buy right there with me. Now, they can always do that. And the ones that are ready will do that because they
Mhm.
will have heard exactly what they need. I have times where Tom will be like, I got 3 bookings on my calendar. Like, what did you do? Oh, I gave a talk today. I mentioned your booking link, like he's like, oh, okay, great. And those people, they take action before I'm even off the stage.
Mhm.
And so, that that's going to happen. I know that that's going to happen. So how do I warm up the rest of them? Well, I require them to do some things. A lot of times I'll use the quiz, makes them go through the process. I'll offer them the free boot camp because I know that they'll go if they go to it. If they even go to it and register for it, even if they don't take it yet, that's a step I want to know that they've taken. They've
Mhm.
expressed enough interest in it. So that's why I do some of the things the way that I do it. But at the end of the day, I like to inject doubt in my calls to action in what I do. That I want them to think that I'm only, and I do. I mean, it's not even that I want them to think this. This is the way we operate. That not everybody is right for us,
Mhm.
and
Here
there are a segment of people who are going to be wrong for this.
Yes, and here's the other thing. Here's my test of the back of the room, because I'm just thoroughly disgusted by him. And you know this because you were there when I did it. The only program that I bought this year was Aaron Young's, and it's because I walked to the back of the room and I said, "You know what? I'm skeptical. Will this still be available to me next month?" And they said yes. And to me, that's the test of a really credible, I'm not trying to hype you. I'm not trying to get you to close today. Let's continue the conversation and
Right.
build a little trust type of thing. And that's the only reason, cuz I don't ever run to the back of the room anymore, and I don't do offers to run you to the back of the room, because I also find from that you get a lot of people who are all in. You got their credit card and then they charge you back, or they don't keep up on their payments because in the heat of the moment they committed to something that they really couldn't afford and really didn't need. And by the way, when she says about all these programs, I talked to someone today that told me that they're in 9 different coaching programs. Like, how do you even, like, there are probably 9 different people telling you 9 different ways to do it.
Yeah, we don't even like to get in someone who's still in web development, like,
I know.
because we know there's going to be a conflict with whoever is advising them on their website. Like, I'm like, come back to us when your website's done, because we have too many people who get started and they'll be like, no, 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 I want to get started, and be like, no, at the end of the day, your website's going to be the thing that holds you up. I'm going to tell you that, and you're going to get all frustrated with me. It's not going to work out. Good luck
Yeah.
with that. Call me when it's done, and we'll get you started right away. But we have the same problem again and again with people, and they're overcoached, and it's so scary. And they don't make progress with the overcoaching.
Yeah, I agree. I
It's
totally agree.
it's so dangerous.
So calls to action. Is there anything on your website that has pricing? I have very little pricing these days. It's schedule an appointment. Let's find out where you're at and let's chat. What about you?
We do, but we didn't before. We do because of the stage that we're at, that we get a lot of people who buy over the website, people who renew their packages over the website, and podcasters who just transition to us.
Okay.
So that's why we have that there. For setups and other things like that, no, almost, I would say 99% of them come through a call first for a setup or a launch of a new one.
Mm.
Transitions can come over, and anyone who just buys hosting, I mean, it's only $49 a month. So for them, there's no point in having phone calls for that. So
Right.
most of them will just buy off the site. So it's different now, but I think we're at a different stage because of how big we are right now.
Right. And there's practical, with the exception of the boot camp, I don't think there's anything you can click and buy over there. And it's because I'm a snob. I will admit it. I'm totally like, up goes my nose. I don't have one of those cute little perky noses like most
Neither
snobs
do
do.
I.
Um, but most of it is because it's not just you evaluating me, honey. It's me evaluating you to find out if people are going through your program from that CTA and just clicking and they're not successful, they're never going to take personal responsibility. It's going to be all your fault. And they're going to be out telling everybody how you suck
Yeah.
when they didn't show up. So I want
Yeah.
to find out that you're really an action taker.
Well, and I would say our biggest problem actually comes from those that are referred to us by marketing agencies or groups of people who are coaching them to become podcasters. Like, those are the biggest problems who come over to us, because their their expectations are not set. They're also being sold something else, like some mastermind and some other programs, and so their energy isn't all in where we need them to be. And so that's why we are really cautious about those companies and who we work with over there. So we screen the company more than we screen the podcasters then. And if we get the right fit ones, then so that's where you can't be a network on our network unless you've gone through our program with us.
Nice. So let's just set some expectations here. There
Yep.
is no magic bullet. All of this takes time. If somebody tells you different than that, run.
Yeah. But I would say the one thing that I would want to say that to people, Juliet, is that failure to make a call to action is a big problem too. Like, some
Yes.
never make a call to action. Like, they just have all this content and all this stuff, and they never say, here's how to reach me. Like, I was accused of that early on. It's like, what is it that you're selling? I want it.
Wow.
And I'd be like, oh my God, did I really blow my sale? Like, how did I mess that up so bad? That was a really early on. That was when I decided to go get help with sales training, right? I decided to go get my presentation skills, figure out how to sell from stage, because I missed something in the scope of
Right.
things. I served them and they wanted to work with me, but I didn't tell them what it was, because I was trying to be more in service and I was trying to be in sales. And so
That's
I had to find that middle ground. So calls to action are extremely important, and
it.
their clarity of them and why you're giving them and how to, and not confusing them by making too many of them,
Oh,
which
yeah.
people do, like multi-tiered ones, especially in a stage talk.
Hmm. Now we
So
actually just saw somebody do that very successfully. Meryl
yeah,
Chandler had I think a 3-tier and extremely powerful and good, but he's also a master at from the stage. Like
right.
his energy, people are engaged and ready to go. So if you're a mediocre speaker, one CTA.
One CTA. Yeah. Well, the thing is that having a multiple CTAs, you'll find over time as you do it that there are that people want to have a comparison, right? So they want to say, oh, I have a low, mid, high. Like this is, we used to do this in our consumer product world. We always had to have like file cabinets, right? You had to have the cheapy file cabinet, the mid-grade file cabinet, and the high-end file cabinet so that there would be a good, better, best comparison.
Right.
And so that was a way of doing things. It's a way of selling things. It's a way of comparing it. And you're always driving them into the middle because the middle is where you make the most profit.
Mm-hmm.
And, and where you do the highest volume. But your low end is, not making you money. Typically it's your loss leader. And your high end is like, you make great money and it's wonderful, but so few people buy it. It's almost not worth maintaining the SKU, right? And that's what happens at the end of the day. And so, but thinking about that, that's where I see also go wrong when somebody tries to do a multi-tiered, is that what they don't even realize is that two of them aren't even desirable. They might as well just go straight for the one that has the most resonance and the best profitability to what you do best in your business.
Right.
And so that's what I say, look, I've got this free thing. If you want it, here it is. Like, it's here for you. But my push is book a call, because if you're the right person for the book a call, that's my most profitable. It's also where I can serve you the best. I know you're going to get the most value out of it. And living in that opportunity that you're providing, that makes the best calls to action at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do something similar. I don't have a lot of levels because I do one or two things really well, and I don't add to it. But as part of that, I can customize that a little bit. That's why the call is important, because I can fit you. I can give you a few extra sessions, or we can do some additional messaging. So mine's a little bit different because people come in at so many different stages, and yeah. So that's it. So next week.
Wait. We have to have our call to action.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Well,
you missed it.
I just did a Tracy there with the, let's go.
I forgot our opportunity. But we're going to do a really simple call to action, because Juliet and I are all about making sure that you get massive growth in your marketing next year. We want to give you an opportunity to talk with us by putting in our Facebook group, in our Marketing Monday Mixer. Boy, I almost messed up the name. Marketing Monday Mixer Facebook group, your biggest marketing challenges for 2020. So tell us what your biggest marketing challenge is in a Facebook group. And we are going to start structuring some shows around that, because we want to make sure that we're bringing you the best value that can serve you well to increase your marketing conversions, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want marketing that's really effective, and we want to do away with the stuff that doesn't work anymore.
Okay. So how do you get there? Go to the Monday Marketing Mixer. No,
Marketing Monday Mixer.
MMMM. So I'm senile. Too many M's. The Marketing Monday Mixer Facebook page. And when you like it, if you haven't already, you're in big trouble. Go up to the call to action at the top of the page and hit it, and it'll take you right into the Facebook group. And Tracy's going to post in there so that you can see where to show us your biggest obstacle. And we will start going at it. We might ask you some additional information about it so we can really zero in on what it is you need. We're planning the 2020 shows right now. Speaking of which, I'm going to announce here first, so you all know, starting in 2020, we're going to be 1 hour earlier at 4 Pacific time. I know Aaron Young isn't watching right now because he's on his call, but he's the reason we had to move our call, because he swears he didn't move his call. I swear he did.
He did it. He did.
He did, because we didn't used to conflict on purpose. So put it on your calendar starting January 6th. We will be on 1 hour earlier. So go over and like the Facebook page and get in the group and tell us all about what you want us to talk about. And I will dig up some yummy recipes from Chef Marie, who, by the way, will be on the show the first one of January as well.
Woohoo, yay.
So you can hear.
So excited about that.
So next week, we are going to talk about the tone of your marketing, which is really important. And we're going to have a wonderful coffee recipe from Chef Marie. Affogato.
I'm excited because we need coffee at this hour. I need coffee.
I know. It's so hard since it got dark. It's like I just want to I want to put my jammies on at 5 o'clock and go to bed. So, well, thank you guys for stopping by, and go over and answer and let us know what that is that's going on for you.
So your biggest marketing challenge for 2020, we want to hear all about it. That is our call to action today. Simple, easy, keeping with our connections with you.
Isn't
All
that
about
isn't that
socking
like,
it,
sorry,
not
isn't that like
socking it to you.
simple, easy, Maybelline? Isn't that like a tagline?
It might be.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll have to change this to a makeup show. Do you wear makeup? I don't.
I do. So you see my lipstick?
Oh
I never
gosh.
go. Yeah. I know all of you. My mother ingrained in me that you do not walk out of the house without lipstick. So I cannot go on video camera without lipstick on. It's the one thing. I might not fix my face. I might not do anything else, but I will have lipstick on.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a simpleton. If you don't like the way I look, don't look at me. No.
That's what listening's for.
There you go. So on that note, nobody will be back because I told them not to look at me. Okay, bye guys. Have a great week.
Take care.